Hi everyone, today is day 27 of the Brave Warrior Challenge, 30K steps in 30 days. And so today's topic is actually related to fathers, and it's very intentional. I want to wish a happy Father's Day to all of the fathers here, that being fathers of human babies, of fur babies, whatever father figure you are. I want to celebrate you today and say happy Father's Day to you. And so, with that, I'm going to talk about the topic of wise words and self doubt. So, my father was a very wise man. I learned so much from him, and I am so grateful. And I thank you, Daddy. You're up there in heaven, my angel. Um, but um, I'm so grateful to you, Daddy, for everything that you've taught me. And I continue his legacy through me. And I continue to impart a lot of his wisdom unto others. And, my daddy and I, we would have long conversations about different stuff. And we could talk about a lot of things. And we would spend so much time just talking. And I was really a daddy's girl. And so I do miss him so much. It's been now, oh my God, it was since 2016, so 10 years now since he has passed away. And my dad, my dad was definitely a go-getter. He whatever he set his mind to, he would do. He was a man of his word, filled with integrity, and he was very much liked by a lot of people because he always offered a helping hand. He was very kind-hearted, hardworking man, but also tough when he needed to be tough, and a man of few words. Only to a certain few, like his family and those that were close to him, he would open up and share truly how he was, which he had a big heart. And so one of the things that he always would show, not with words particularly, but he would show with action, is that he always did what he said he was gonna do. For example, and he would set goals for himself. Like when he came to this country, he was 15 years old with his brothers. He didn't really know English. He went to school, to teach himself to speak the language. He would have different jobs. He always had money in his pocket. Being an immigrant did not give him the excuse not to, move up ahead in life. And even though he had few resources at the beginning, he built his life out of basically nothing. He became the owner of a building. And my mom is currently the owner now, but he actually became the old owner of that building. And just from being here in the US, he always had, for some reason, he always found a way to have income, to even have different cars. He switched cars all the time, and always put himself through different challenges. So like he went to martial arts school, and he was able to get up to the level of brown belt. He never made it to the black, but he made it to the brown. And so I'm so proud of him, of everything that he's achieved, and the little resources that he had, he was able to build that up and give us a good education, give us a good life. Growing up, we were never like what you would call poor. We were kind of like middle class at that time. And it was because of his hard work. He worked at Nabisco, which was like like the where they made cookies, And he on his weekends he had his own mechanic shop, and so he would make his little income there, and then he became the owner of the apartment building. And so I'm like, I'm just amazed of everything that he's done. And and we have to sometimes give credit to all of our men that are providing, that are finding a way to make it right, to help their families. And they each contribute in some sort of way, right? But this particular topic about wisdom is that wisdom is found in different ways. For me, it was through my dad and through his conversations with me, and he really taught me that anything is possible. And even though I grew up with low self-esteem, self-doubt, um, he always found a way through his actions to show us, like, don't doubt, don't keep on doing the things that you can do at the best of your ability. And I remember a comment that he gave my brother, and my brother once shared it with me. And he said, Dad always used to say, if it exists, it's because someone did it. So if it has been done before, anything can be done after, because someone thought about it and they did it. So why is it not possible for you to do it if someone else has done it before? And that is so applicable to a lot of things in life, like the bridges. He would give the example to my brother, like the bridges, like who created the bridges? Man created the bridges. So if it's been built before, then it is possible. Then if there's something new that comes along, then it's possible to have it done and have it created. Um, and so sometimes we self-doubt ourselves. I also remember another scenario that my sister shared with me. My dad wanted us to not self-doubt us, our own selves. And so when we were growing up, my sister, of course, she was learning to ride a bike, and she had the training wheels on. So my sister was afraid of those training wheels coming off, of course, and anyone would be afraid, when you're at that age and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna fall, right? Well, my dad and his and through his wisdom, he told my sister, like, oh, get on the bike, I'll hold you. The training wheels are still on. And guess what my dad had done? This is funny. He actually had put the training wheels upward so they were not touching the floor. So basically the training wheels were not operating anymore. He made it so to believe that my sister, she still had the training wheels on, so that she didn't have any self-doubt. But in fact, when after he was holding her for a bit, he let her go, and guess what? Those training wheels were not there anymore. But she didn't need them anymore. My dad knew that my sister could ride the bike without the training wheels. Those training wheels had to be taken off, because it was time for her to not doubt and put the fear aside and ride the bicycle on her own, ride without the help of the training wheels. And she found this out after. She was like, no, she was kind of nervous after she realized that she was driving without them, but she was able to drive the bicycle. And that comes back to the topic of self-doubt. When we're growing up, of course, when we're toddlers, we have self-doubt that we were holding ourselves onto the sofa, onto whatever it is around our surroundings, and we want to keep on holding on because we're afraid to fall, right? But guess what? After practice and practice, we're gonna learn how to walk anyway. So that self-doubt is just there to hinder us. And when we're riding a bike also, what happens there too? We're afraid of taking off those training wheels. We're afraid of riding the bicycle on our own. But the more we practice, then we realize, oh, after a while, I'm going to learn how to ride the bicycle. So, that comes to show that we should not doubt ourselves. When we are ready to try something new, whatever it is, as an adult, it could be something else, right? When we first learned how to drive, of course we were afraid, right? Um, we were afraid of parallel parking, maybe. We were maybe afraid of, just having someone to teach us and have to rely on them to teach us. And what if we get into an accident? Of course, all these self-doubt thoughts come to our mind. But guess what? We got our license anyway. You know what I mean? Like, after practice, after not giving up, after not, keep pressing on and keep on doing it, we're gonna get it, right? And so all this self-doubt, it was there for no reason. Basically, it was just there because our minds are designed to protect us from danger, from new things that seem scary. And so that's why, whenever you try something new, instead of self-doubting, think about those times. I self-doubted myself when I was going to learn how to drive, but what did I do? I learned how to drive. Um, think about all those things, and it'll bring you to a better place. That's what I'm trying to say. When you first got your new job, you were afraid. You're like, what if I don't do a good job? What if they fire me? What if whatever I learned in school is not applicable here? And you have this self-doubt that you're going to be good, but guess what? You still got your first job anyway, right? And you were fine. So that comes to show that whatever we try new, there's always that nervousness, that self-doubt, but that's okay. That just means that you want to do a good job. And that's just your brain being your brain. Your brain is designed to protect you. This seems scary. Oh, what if this? What if that? Your mind, you know, your mind can go rampant with different things. And so that's why you have to be able to have know that you're going to be okay. Like, for example, another scenario would be, for example, like purchasing, being afraid because, how are you going to have uh, be able to afford a house, for example. But guess what? You built the money, you saved, you did the right things, and yet you're still self-doubting yourself. But guess what? A lot of people are homeowners. They were able to buy their first home, right? It happened anyway. And I come back to that, it happened anyway. Because see, at first we have this idea that, oh my God, how is this going to happen? How is this going to come to pass? Um, and the truth is, it's going to come to pass anyway. Time is going to pass by anyway. So why not make the best of it, right? I forgot who said this to me one time. And I don't know if they got it from somewhere else, but someone once told me, you know what? I'm afraid of doing, I'm afraid of doing all these things and efforts and all these projects. And I'm afraid of opening up this business. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the right time. But guess what? That person said, but you know what? The time is going to pass by anyway. Do I want to look back and look back at a pile of regret, or do I want to look at a pile of the different things that I did in life that made me happy, that made me smile, that made me feel accomplished, and that I gave it my best shot in this life? God does not call us to succumb to fear and self-doubt. God calls us to have faith and walk in faith and do it anyway, even in despite of fear. And so that comes to show that self-doubt is designed to protect us. And yes, we got to be cautious in whatever it is we do, right? If we're not an experienced, let's say an experienced mountain climber, we're not going to go climb Mount Everest, right, on our first try if we've never practiced and prepared for it. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying with practice, with building your confidence, with doing the right things that you need to do and do it at the best of your ability, it's going to happen, right? In due time, it's going to happen. And so all that self-doubt is just there sometimes. And we just have to make sure that we kind of push it away, you know, and say, yes, no, I could do this, right? And so, and I mentioned my dad because he always had that wisdom of like being a go-getter, you know, accomplishing his goals and doing, you know, more than what he was expected to do when he arrived to this country. You know, he exceeded the expectations. And you know why? Because he believed in himself. He wanted something better for his children. And so he never doubted that whatever he planted would create a harvest. Remember, whatever you sow, whatever you sow, you will reap. So if you sow bad things in life, don't be surprised if the harvest is not good, right? We have to use common sense, and we have to understand that if we are not doing the right things, you know, we could always turn it around and not punish ourselves forever for doing the bad stuff before. But what counts is that you switch it around and you do better, right? And once you do better, give it your best shot. And so I know this is a long video, but I was just compelled to just kind of share my thoughts around this. Is so important, so important. Your mind is so important, because whatever you feed your mind, if you feed it good things, it's gonna come to your heart, right? And if it's in your heart to do something, you're gonna take action on it. So imagine if you plan all these bad things in your mind and you let it soak into your heart, it's not gonna help you. You're gonna take bad actions. And so instead, believe in yourself, keep pushing forward, keep doing the good things in life, and you know, just push away that self-doubt. Just kind of put it inside of a drawer and close it. Right? And believe in yourself. You know, if a man like my dad, that had nothing when he came to this country at a young age of 15 could do it, anyone can do it, right? And so I hope this message inspires you. Let me know about your father figure in your life. Comment after this video. Give me some comments. Share with me, what have you learned from your father? Like, what wisdom have you learned from your father figure? If you have learned anything from that person, or anyone, right? Anyone that has given you wisdom, you know, what are some of the things that you've learned, and are you applying them? So I hope you all have a great evening. It's so beautiful outside right now here in the Chi-Town area. Have a blessed night, and see you all for the next day. Bye-bye.